Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Well, we now have a chunk of info on what is coming this weekend for summoning, and it's not not Fina, excuse me. It's not Freya, the other really good chick starting with F. It's not Freya. It is in fact a fairly regular summon rush event. I say fairly because it's not quite regular, but it is just a summon rush. We can probably already guess. Well, okay, we know the fusion is starting. It's due to start next week. We know that there is a deck of Fate for Freya. We know there's summon events for Odin. They've been hitting us a pretty good summon event, so you better bet that this one's going to be probably pretty good as well. Now, if you check out the description for the event on the event tab of Plarium Play, it says here, there are special rewards on offer at certain milestones to keep summoning. And that's not all. You can even gain a shard by using shards. It's a win-win. So I'm very curious what this means. This hasn't been clarified. This is all we know. So, I mean, there's mythical tomes, there's legendary tomes in here, feasts. So it's going to be a big, very expensive summon rush. I'm expecting easily like 10,000 points. Like, you can do 20 sacreds and, yeah, easily put into this summon rush. But I'm very curious about this. You can gain a shard by using shards. Now, let's be real, it's not going to be like, oh, wow, I spent a sacred, I gain a sacred, one for one. It's probably more like you pull lots of shards. There's probably shards within the actual rewards. I guess we'll find out for sure tomorrow when it goes live, but I'm expecting it to be, kind of decent. And here are the champions, and they are very, very good. So this is Friday, progressive chance event for 72 hours. From your so like almost everything here is a banger. We've got Duchess, Lilitu, Armanz, Lady of Ireth, Glaicad, Nekmo, Thaard, Siphi and Yncensa. So Duchess is definitely, she's definitely fallen off. I mean, at one time I would have said she's arguably the best champion in the game. I think with power creep, that's no longer the case. She's still good, right? She's still good all battles. Got a great passive that reduces AoE damage, AoE revive, block buffs, perfect veil on everyone except her, increase attack. She still does see some use. I think there's just, better champions than her for Arena now. The mythicals in particular, power creeping her. And then the fact that White King Narcissus counters her super hard. But she's still valuable. She's still great. So she's still a good pull. Armanz, he is insane. If you don't have an Armanz, that sucks. If you do have an Armanz, now I would say you probably don't need a second one. One is usually really enough, but Armanz, he's great. He's got great speed of battle, speed aura for Arena. He's got the single target polymorph. This is insane. Gives you a way to fight back against Stone Skin. And then his A2 is totally overpowered as well. Stealing turn meter of everyone and AoE stun as well. He's bonkers good. We all know about Armanz. So yeah, Armanz is in there. Lady of Ireth is actually really good now. And she comes into some pretty sick like Trunda teams and stuff like that. I've seen like a couple of like double Emic, Lady of Ireth teams, that sort of thing. The reason is that she now has a 3-turn cooldown. Ally skill, decrease their cooldown by 1 turn. So you can just stack up. Again, like you put her in with Emic, who's from the same faction. He has the same thing. 3-turn cooldown, decrease ally skill cooldowns. So you put in the 2 Emics and you put in Lady of Ireth. Emics just spam Vinequake. Lady of Ireth just spams this. So they always have their moves because basically, if she goes, she reduces everyone's cooldown. Then the 2 Emics go. This would be it's normally a 3-turn cooldown. The 2 Emics reduce it to 1 turn, and it gets 1 turn cooldown at the start of her turn. So they can just continually spam all of their moves. It's no problem. So you've got 3 champions just fueling cooldown reduction for your team. And then you put in, well, obviously you put in the Trunda, and then Trunda can keep spamming Cloak of Ages with 3 turns of cooldown reduction for the Trunda. You'll be able to spam Cloak of Ages every turn. And it's just ridiculously powerful. So she's very good. And it does open up, like I said, other team builds as well. So Lady of Ireth was formerly literally one of the worst legendaries in the game. Super bland and generic and just bad. Now she's actually really strong. And the strength and continuous heal also helps you stay alive, which is nice. She does other stuff, but it's kind of irrelevant, to be honest. But she's good. Glaicad of the Meltwater. I would say Glaicad is like a better Duchess for Hydra. Yeah, he's in this faction as well. Speed in all battles aura. So he's got AoE revive. It's not as good as Duchess's revive, but for Hydra, you don't You only sort of need revive, and I do actually value revive a lot at the moment as a way to deal with the reflect damage sometimes going through and killing one of your damage dealers. But increase accuracy, increase defense for 3 turns, then extra turn if nobody is revived. Then he comes in, increase attack and perfect veil and turn meter boost. So he's giving you 4 different buffs. His A1 is kind of rubbish for Hydra. But allies under perfect veil placed by him do 10% more damage. That's great. And if you give him a protection set, he's coming in with 4 buffs. So 9-piece protection, 4 buffs, that's 20% damage, plus another 10% damage. So he's giving you potentially 30% damage boost, which is nuts. With the backup revive, increase accuracy, defense, and increase attack, perfect veil, very good as well. Now, you really do need or want to run him with a buff extender because his cooldowns are kind of long. Yeah, so that can be a little bit awkward. So do watch out for that. He's coming in with 4-turn cooldowns. Now, he does take an extra turn, which sort of knocks a turn off of it. But you really want a buff extender to keep these buffs up all the time. Maybe even 2 buff extenders. You know, run him with something like a Krisk, and you'll be in a good spot. So yeah, that's Glaicad. I think Glaicad is actually really solid. Nekmo is still fantastic, of course, as well. I do think Nekmo is maybe fallen off a little bit, just because I think Aestrid is actually genuinely better. But we've got increased speed, 30% turn meter boost, then AoE decrease speed leech, AoE decrease attack, speed aura. He gets lots of turn meter himself, so he's very fast. Just increase speed, decrease speed, and keeping you alive. I think that Aestrid is more valuable if you've got other ways to keep you alive, right? If you've got other defenses in your team, Aestrid is sort of like an upgrade because she brings you increase attack, which is nice, but she brings you the weaken, and weaken is really crucial now for Hydra. That's really where the Hydra meta has gone. Like 25% weaken is 25% more damage, and it's all about doing as much damage as possible. So Aestrid, she's also baseline faster. Aestrid is preferred now to Nekmo, but Nekmo is still solid. He's actually great in like a provoke set. He's very good in a curse set because he's doing AoE attacks like every turn, so he's actually really good in that. So he is still good. Then for the Void, I mean, it's tough to say. Who do you pick first out of all of these? I would say if you don't have an Armanz, Armanz would be number 1. Lady of Ireth is insane, but she is niche, right? You do need like a couple of them or a couple of Emics or something like that. So I would sort of check specific Lady of Ireth comps. I'm not even fully aware of all of the options. Like perhaps she does open up some Iron Twins. Perhaps she opens up some Demon Lord Clan Boss compositions. So if you've got Wixwell, you probably don't care. So, I mean, she probably actually works well with Wixwell, to be honest. Reduces his shield growth and gives you strengthen. It's probably pretty good. So yeah, I would check out some more Lady of Ireth. I will be honest, I am not up to speed in terms of her best teams. But Arman's number 1. Lady of Ireth, potentially extremely good for you, but it depends if you need and can build a Lady of Ireth specific team. After that, I'd say Duchess more arena focused, Glaicad more Hydra focused. So pick your poison. I think they're both excellent. And then Nekmo Thaard, again, could be very good for you. I say he sort of falls off because you might be coming into it with a Trunda team for one of your Hydra teams. Then you might have Aestrid from the Fusion for your second team. And then for your third team, I mean, there are very good other, you might have like a Lydia and a Vizix, right? And there's your increased speed, decreased speed. That's a solid team. You know, Lydia might be in your Trunda team, to be fair. But you might not need the Nekmo quite as much as you would have back in the day. But they're all very good picks. I would personally say Arman's number 1. I probably would maybe go to Duchess number 2 because she's just good. And then maybe these both 3rd and Nekmo in 4th. It's sort of my vibe. Now, Siphi and Yncensa, these are both incredible voids. Both highly recommended. I would recommend Siphi more, of course. Let's put Siphi a bit higher just for arena, really. Siphi's is great, and for Sand Devil as well, which is super important to farm. So Siphi does a couple of things. For Sand Devil, specifically, she does, if it wants to load, come in with the guaranteed sleep. This cannot be resisted. Other sleep champions, you've got a 3% chance they will not sleep Sand Devil. Siphi works 100% of the time, so she makes your Sand Devil speed farming 100% consistent for fast teams like Newts and Marius and Reset and blah, blah, blah. So she's nuts. Also, all of the buffs, the healing, the revive, good aura, crazy base stats as well. Siphi is fantastic. I've got mine. Use her all the frickin' time. All the time. Siphi is bonkers good. So could not recommend Siphi more. Yncensa is pretty underrated. I think Yncensa is actually really good. She's fantastic for Hydra. So she comes in with decreased defense weaken with an AoE attack, and then an A1 AoE attack with decreased attack. But this is the crucial part. Ally with the highest crit damage will join in to attack the enemy with the lowest HP. This is pretty sick. She does have this fun, like, poison cloud thing. I actually think for Hydra, you probably actually turn that off. This is cool. It's kind of niche, but you probably turn it off. This could be very strong in Arena, though it can also be buff stripped. But if they don't have a buff stripper, then that poison cloud can really protect your damage dealer. It could be pretty cool. Or your reviver, whatever. It could protect anything. But I think for Hydra, you just come in, decrease defense weaken, and then AoE decrease attack and all these ally attacks. We know how strong Lady Mikage is with her little ally attack. We know how strong Teox is with his ally attack on an A1. This is the same sort of thing. So it's incredibly good. And yeah, she's got a cool passive. This is, I'd say, more so for Arena. So she would come in just high speed and be ridiculously good for Hydra. And then she could probably back up in some Arena fights as well. So I think Yncensa is a bit underrated, actually. I think people don't know much about her, but she's actually quite good. For the epics, Ugo's insane. Doom Priest is great. Stag Knight's insane. Seer is good. And good. Seer's insane. Skytouch Shaman is good. So yeah, I mean, look, for Voids, I'm coming in. I'm saying, like, let's change this to a nice yellow. Like, you know, you're coming in and you're looking at, like, Siphi and Seer. And then, you know, you're looking at Armanz or Duchess, and then whatever epic you need. I would say Ugo is the best one, but Doom Priest, Stag Knight, both very good. Like, that's pretty bonkers good. It's hard to get a progressive chance event that is better than these. Seer, obviously, with the crazy wave clear, so useful. Ugo with the decreased defense block buffs. Like, I am using Ugo in a couple of places right now. In fact, let me show you guys, because you were talking to me about this. I actually did improve my Shogun team. So funny enough, we're actually using Ugo here. So this Ugo, hopefully this team works. I've only tested a little bit today, but I did sort of rebuild this. But the idea here is that my Lydia doesn't have enough accuracy. So we're just using Ugo. I've got a high accuracy Ugo who is now doing Shogun and also doing the Odin dungeon, which is hilarious. So as you can see, with the decreased defense, it is enough. Sadly, Ugo, it would be better if Ugo was slower than Mithrala, just in case that initial decreased defense is resisted. But I think it's not too important because Ugo, because we're using Renegade, high crit damage Renegade, Ugo does get the second decreased defense out before the Newt goes in. But yeah, even, it's ridiculous. Even with weak hits, Newt hits hard enough that it still kills the boss anyways. It's so silly. I think Lydia would make it more consistent, but she doesn't have enough accuracy because she's built for me in 9-piece protection for a trended team. But like, there's Ugo in there, and of course, using Ugo in the event dungeon as well, which is insanely good. The same Ugo, just high speed and very high accuracy. And, you know, you've seen all my Ugo Hydra videos, but for event dungeon, Ugo comes in, decreased defense, which we need to hit the boss hard enough, and block buffs to stop the boss getting block damage and all of that, and to stop, you know, all the counterattacks being annoying and interrupting us. So yeah, like Ugo actually coming in and being insanely strong. Ugo is one of the most OP epics that they ever put out. Like, she is just phenomenal. She's so good. We're actually going to get a pretty fast run here. It can slow down a little bit if Ugo misses block buffs on that guy, or Turvold can take extra turns and get counterattack, and he does a counterattack animation. But like, yeah, there we go. So Ugo, phenomenal. And that was my new Shogun teams. Thank you to guys for leaving comments being like, yo, Nub, just use Newt. Like, even though he's the wrong affinity, and that's really bad for Shogun, this dungeon was nerfed so hard, you can just run Newt, and it still works. It's the most absurd thing. I can't believe it. But yeah, I should also, if you want to see Sand Devil as well with Siphi. So this is the lovely thing about Sand Devil with Siphi, is she comes in, she does two things. So number one, she opens up with a sleep, which is 100%. So your other characters, like, what was her name? The free login chick who does sleep and other debuff. She's really good too, but she's a 3% chance to fail. Siphi comes in guaranteed. And then she makes the speed tuning super easy, especially with Ruella. Ruella's very consistent landing the debuffs. And then Siphi and Ruella both provide turn meter boost. I think Siphi actually like turn meter boost twice after the reset. She's so fast. But yeah, like Siphi's just god tier for this. And you could use Newt if you get when you get Marius. If you've got Newt, when you get Marius, I mean, there you go, job done. Now, I think you do need a good reset champion to reset the Newt at least. I don't know about Marius, haven't got him yet. But that's sort of where we are at. And for me, the Marius missions, this is why I was improving my Shogun team. I'm onto this, then it's like just sort of get through the Iron Twin stages, which will take a while. Just some like earn mortal coins from that. Like it's just some time consuming shit. But we're on track for the Marius missions. I finally got past the mythical chest plate nonsense and all that. But yeah, that's sort of the news, guys. So Summon Rush event, it's a good one, but I would be inclined to be skipping it, honestly, because we know there are other really good events coming up as well. And as I mean, we'll see. Unless the Summon Rush is absolutely crazy rewards and you've got lots of shards, you're probably better off saving up for the Asgard Divide events, which will give you, you will get Thor and you will get Freya if you complete those events. That's pretty good. Guaranteed champions are a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, as they say. So yeah, that's from my thoughts. But let me know what you think. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.